Welcome back to Midland, Texas for another episode of Riders on Deck as we count you down to Game 2 of this series against the Rockhounds and also the final game of the first half. Nathan Barnett alongside me. I'm Ryan Rillard. We'll talk more about the first half in a moment, but let's look at yesterday's Game 1 of this series first. Tough turnaround going from a night home game to a day game here yesterday, but the Riders played right with Midland. A tough 12-inning loss, though, when it was all said and done.
Yeah, they really did fight. They came back, were able to scrounge out the 4 runs in the 4th inning and really pitched pretty well for the most part yesterday. They had some chances late in the game, couldn't quite come through, but they were right there. Another extra inning game against Midland, and to play close against a team that not only didn't have the long overnight travel that the RoughRiders did with the distance, they were at home. So they got a good night's sleep in their own bed, came back for a little bit earlier game while the RoughRiders didn't get into Midland until about 5 in the morning. So much different scenario for the two teams, and the RoughRiders played right there with them.
Yeah, equal rest today for these two squads as they go into Game 2. And like we mentioned, the final game of this first half, it won't culminate in a half championship. That goes to Corpus Christi. But, boy, there were a lot of things to like. What are some of the moments and the memories that will stand out to you as you look back on this first half?
Sure. Just looking back, I think the one freeze frame that I remember maybe the most, other than Preston Beck's walk-off home run, which I think is the easiest to remember just because the walk-off home runs are so fun, was Ryan Cordell's catch back in April. It was just such a magnificent play. I think back of it, and I remember it in such slow motion. But we talked about this a little bit on the air last night. I think the overall big picture thing that I remember about this first half is how much fun this team has been to cover. I don't know that I've experienced a rotating group of 25 players that have been as good a people, not just great ball players, but as good a people as these guys are, along with the coaching staff. It's just been tremendous to work with. So it's been an honor and a privilege to work with these guys so far, and I think that's my big takeaway. Obviously, in terms of the baseball, they played some magnificent baseball early in the year. Best start in franchise history through most of the first half and that was a pretty special start, first 45 games or so of the year.
We've seen some great development. We've seen guys like Ryan Cordell take steps forward. Ronald Guzman's a guy that wasn't a Double-A player until this year. He's suddenly there on the mound tonight. Starter Victor Payano's had one of his best years. Connor Sadzik turning things around as well. So it's been a lot of fun. We're seeing a lot of the individual development, the team development as well, and we'll sign off for the final time here in the first half, but tomorrow we begin anew. Everybody's slate is blank once again, and the Riders can make their next push toward a second half title and that other playoff spot in the South Division. Game 2 of this series begins at 6:30. Pregame show coverage on the Dr. Pepper pregame show begins at 5:55. For now, though, we sign off for now with another episode of Riders on Deck here on Riders TV.